squeeze a car between a car and a wall like that. You didn't have the room.
89, you're a moron.
DJ, we've got some after race stuff. Oh, they're wrecking each other. As we got Laskowski up in the wall. This is Tempers Flarin.
Hello and welcome into the playoff prediction episode, the special episode of the Tempers Flarin podcast. I'm here with an entire slew of drivers tonight. We decided to add 3 more and make this thing a little more interesting. We're actually missing one right now. He's running late, but I'm here with the league owner, Chris Hubka, Thomas Fisher, Rookie of the Year contender. Here with also Austin Wheeler. You guys saw him on the podcast. Brock Whitehead, Christian Roos, Patrick McQuaid, Sizemore, and then we want to welcome in TJ Hanley as well for the third special guest for tonight. So we're going to jump straight into it. All right, so Roos, what was kind of the motivation behind your predictions? Was it just kind of off the dome? How did you come up with what you came up with? We're going to go through it here in a second.
A little bit of prior experience, a little bit of current knowledge, I guess you could say, and some toss-ups out there.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and look at the round of 16 drivers you have in.
Yep. I got me, McQuaid, who probably could have had the championship last year had he not missed a round of 8 race. I got both you and Brock, who are heavy competitors. Ricky Gonzalez, who I know is talented. He's coming back this season. Hubka, Cash, 2 guys who have proven their stuff of being consistent last season. Austin Wheeler, who I've heard a lot of good things about. Haven't dealt with him myself, but I'm looking forward to seeing him on track. Dylan McDonald, I saw he's starting the season late, but I feel he's going to get a win pretty quickly and jump up those point standings. TJ Roberts, a teammate of mine this season. I raced with him in Backfire. Very talented guy. TJ Hanley, who made the Final Four with me last season. DJ Daniel, talented again. Matt Metler, who I have heard has put in a lot of work this offseason and has really kind of proven his stuff. I've also raced with him in one of my other leagues. Really, really putting his stuff out there. Brandon Zimmerman, a rookie who I've heard some good things about. Jonathan Cogswell, who made the Final Four with me. And then Zach Woods, who I know just won a championship in one of his other leagues and has also been really, really, really working on his stuff, getting better.
Yep. Nothing crazy jumping off at the list to me. This seems pretty consistent with what I would expect as well. So we'll go ahead and move on to the round of 12, and we'll let you say your reasoning on what you've picked.
Yeah, round of 12. I just went 16-1 here with Woods. Again, moving on, talented. Myself, I feel like I can be consistent enough to keep going. Both you and Brock, same thing. Patrick, I have him going pretty deep here. Same thing with Dylan. Matt Metler, he might be one of those kind of in between round of 16, round of 12. We'll see how his playoffs turn out there at Wilkesboro, Hampshire, and Bristol. Same thing with Cash and Hubka, both 2 solid guys, but there's a lot of talent in this next round. TJ Roberts, DJ Daniel, and TJ Roberts, DJ Daniel, TJ Hanley. Wow, that's a handful.
Yeah, that's a handful of Hanley and TJs and DJs. It's still nothing crazy jumping off the page to me. Does anybody else have any opinions so far for his bracket?
I kind of question McDonald being there, mainly because he's missing the first 5 or 6 races of the season.
Okay.
But the rest, I think it looks pretty good.
He's just saying that because he's in there.
Pretty much.
Alrighty, go ahead and explain your round of 8.
Yeah, so round of 8, again, myself, Atlanta and Chicago are 2 strong tracks for me. The Roval will be really the toss-up. Zach, Patrick, again, very talented. I have them going pretty deep here. Cash, here in this round, this might be what gets him. If he can get past the Roval, I know Martinsville wasn't very great to him last season, so I have him in that round of 8. We'll see about going on further than that. You and Brock as well. Dylan McDonald, I have him another round. Yes, I know he's missing a couple, but I think his talent's gonna carry him. And then Metler again. again, talented. He's working his way up, and I feel like Atlanta and Chicago again are two tracks that are good to him. It'll just be kind of come down to the Roval.
Yeah, very solid picks. We'll move on to the round of 4 and then let you do your explanation.
All right, Final Four. Patrick, once again, he could have made the Final Four last season. Probably should have. Would have been 2 Hubka Motorsports drivers there, but he had to miss a race in the round of 8, which really hurt him. I think he can do good. Move on through. Same thing with Dylan. Zach Woods. Some people might be questioning this one. Again, he's a proven winner now. He's had a couple wins under his belt. He's got a championship under his belt as well. One of the, in my opinion, one of the best guys in the league, and one of the guys that's come from, no offense to Zach, but he was kind of a back marker. He was a field filler for a little bit, and he's really, really picked it up lately. So I have him going Final Four, and then Brock again. He was Final Four with me last season. He'll continue that consistency, I guess, and make it through the end. And then champion Dylan McDonald.
Yeah, very solid picks. Does anybody have any opinions? I know, Hubka, you've already explained your opinions on Dylan and why you don't think he should be there. So obviously he's got him picked as the champion.
I mean, I just agree. I greatly appreciate you having me in the Final Four. I don't think it'll happen, but I appreciate it.
Zach's Patrick, you're always a negative person. Like, oh, I suck here. I qualify horrible.
And then you put it on the poll for Daytona.
Yeah.
I'm a realist, guys. I'm a realist, all right? It's reverse psychology in a way, all right? Thanks.
That'll work.
If it works, it works. We'll move on to Hubka's predictions. Hubka, what was the mindset behind your picks?
It's pretty much who I race with. It's kind of hard for me to pick any of the new guys since I really don't know them. I've raced with Austin Wheeler and Daytona in my fundraiser, and I let him win that race.
Oh,
But
oh man, that's true.
We'll see if he's got Wheeler in the playoffs, and if not, I think you know why. So we'll go ahead and look at the round of 16 for Hubka.
I do have a Wheeler in the playoff, but it's not Austin. I got both Brock and Trey, who are always in contention to win every week. Same with Patrick McQuaid. He's very good. Myself, of course. Ricky, I know from some previous leagues I've raced with him. Same with Zach Woods. He's gotten a lot better, like Roos said. Roberge is pretty good too. He's my teammate as well. Dylan Ellis, he's pretty consistent. Cash has also gotten better throughout the year last year. Sizemore, he probably would have made it last season if he didn't miss a few races. DJ Daniels always up front. Same with Christian Roos, he's real consistent. Joe, I believe, would have been up there last season as well if he didn't miss any races. And then Cogswell, Sabanowski, and then TJ Roberts. He's our teammate this year, and I raced with him before also.
Nice. Nothing really jumping out at me there. We'll go ahead and look at the round of 12 for you.
Round 12, like I said in the previous round, you got Trey and Brock always up front every week. Doesn't matter the track. Patrick's always consistent, even though he says he's not. He finds ways to make it to the front, whether he's using cheat codes or something. He's always up there. DJ's always up front as well. He'll go from the back to the front in a few laps. He's always quick. TJ Roberts is a real fast guy. I raced with him. Woods, I got him going pretty deep in the playoffs. Ricky, I raced with him a few seasons ago. He's real consistent. Same with Cogswell. I've only raced with him last season, but from what I've seen, he's a threat as well to make a deep run in the playoffs. Joe, I think he'll make a deep run as well. Like I said, he missed a few races, couldn't make the playoffs. Roos, man, he surprised us all last year. He made he won the championship. I also think I got him pretty deep run as well. And then Roberge. He's a fast guy. I think he's gonna surprise us all.
Yeah, I think one opinion from myself is Roberge in the round of 12. Kind of sort of like a Zach Woods middle of the pack kind of guy last year, and I can't wait to see how good he's gotten this season out on track. So it'll be exciting to see. Look at your round of 8.
So moving forward, of course, Trey and Brock are going to be there along with McQuaid. You got your three, like I said, are always up front, find your ways to make it to the front. TJ Roberts, he's real fast. He's consistent in most races that I've raced with him with. Same with Cogswell. Cogswell come out of nowhere. He'll be 5 laps from the rear to the front. Roos is always consistent. I think I got him making the championship 4 this. I think I got him making the championship 4 again. Zach Woods. So Zach Woods is gonna surprise everybody that's raced with him here at Ghost. Like Bruce says, no offense to him. When we first met him, he was kind of like the mid-pack to the rear end guy, but he's gotten a lot better throughout the last few years. And then DJ Daniel's always in the mix to win the championship.
Anything standing out to anyone else so far from Hopkins?
I'm surprised that nobody's put Ryan going in further into the playoffs. I mean, having been his crew chief last year, I would have expected him to be a solid round of 8 at minimum.
The reason I didn't put Sizemore further up is mainly he's always gets caught up in something, whether it's his fault or not. He always gets caught up in something.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be an Achilles heel of some of these guys that you might think would have a deep run, just getting caught up in stuff. We'll have to see who those people are this year if it ends up changing. Go ahead and look at your championship 4.
Championship 4, like it's pretty much every year. You got both Trey and Brock in there. With McQuaid last season, like Bruce said, was missing a race. I believe he would have also made the championship 4 and put up a good fight with Roos there for the championship, and then DJ Daniel's always in the mix.
All right, we'll go ahead and look at your predicted champion.
I got McQuaid winning it all this season. He's coming back for a vengeance.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Only thing that stands out to me is Trey. No offense to Trey, but the short tracks and Martinsville and Dega, one season he was going to make another round and wouldn't say really took himself out, but racing really hard and wrecked. And then Dega, it's just super speedways is just Trey's like weakness a little bit. Man, really all that kind of surprises me.
You might be getting demoted. Put you down in truck. No, I'm just kidding. That's pretty solid picks. I do like all those picks. Like I said, the only real surprise to me was Chris Roberge, so can't wait to see how good he's improved. I guess we can move on to my list now. I guess it was from past experiences I was able to build my list. I think I added a couple of new guys in there. I'm not sure. I honestly might not even remember my picks, so we'll just go through it here. Obviously got me and Brock. I just feel like like you said, Hubka, we're always trying to find the front. Roos is starting to become a front runner, like a threat to win almost every race. Same with McQuaid. Hubka, you're always getting better every year, so I only see you going up. Metler as well, big pickup for us this offseason. Can't wait to have him out on track. DJ, super fast. And then I actually have 3 Sizemore cars in here. I have Ryan, Thomas Fisher, and TJ all making the round of 16. Joseph Grijalva in here, Dylan McDonald, even though you noted that he's going to be missing a few races. Dylan Ellis is very fast. He was fast last year towards the end of the season, so I don't see him missing the playoffs. Also, Christopher Cash, he was getting very fast as well. Austin Wheeler really surprised me during the fundraiser race. Very fast, and a lot of times Daytona speed doesn't translate to other tracks, but the way he raced tells me he's got something pretty good inside of him. And Ricky rounding out the top 16. I'll move on to the round of 12. So same top 4. Obviously Hubka, I have left you out, so I hope you can prove me wrong. Wow. Yeah, I had to put Metler in over you because I just feel like Metler is going to have a pretty special season. DJ, I don't see him tripping over himself this season. Sizemore, you're in the round of 12. Joseph, very fast, always competitive. Dylan McDonald, if he does make the playoffs like I predicted, I feel like he would go pretty deep. TJ, very consistent. Dylan Ellis as well. And I've got Ricky moving on. Sorry, Austin. I know I believed in you, but I hope you can prove me wrong as well in making the round of 12. Move on to my round of 8. Same, looks like the top 4, me, Brock, Roos, and McQuaid. DJ making it to the round of 8. I think I put TJ in over Ryan, which it could go either way. McDonald, if he doesn't even end up making the playoffs, I would have Ryan in the top 8. Joseph in there, and like I said, TJ as well for the round of 8. So like I said, if McDonald ends up not making the playoffs at all, I could see Sizemore slotting into that 7th spot. We'll look at my champ 4. I've got Brock making it. I don't see myself making it. Like Brock said, my weakness is Talladega, and I kind of race really aggressive on the short tracks, which can either pay off or not pay off. Roos, I've got him making it into the championship 4 for the 2nd year. McQuaid, I've got him making it in. I think you're super solid. I think you should have no issues getting to the championship 4. And DJ as well. I think he'll have a strong run to get there. And my champion, I picked obviously my brother. I'd like to see him win for my team, but I think it really is a toss-up between the 4. And it was just kind of gut instinct that I picked Brock over the rest of them. But like that's a solid championship 4. I don't know how I even came up with the driver out of that.
What a good brother. What a hell of a brother.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a big toss-up for sure. And then the gut instinct is obviously picking my, not even just my brother, my driver. I've got 2 drivers predicted here in the championship 4, but...
I kind of like that final 4, though. We got 2 Whitehead and 2 Hubka Motorsports.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty sick battle. It's like what? It'd be like a Hendrick Gibbs battle, so I think it'd be pretty cool. Go ahead and take a look at your round of 16. What was your reasoning behind what you picked? I know you're kind of new.
Yeah, I'm kind of new. I've probably only raced or been around maybe 8 or 9 out of the 16 drivers between the fundraiser race and the little Gen 4 series we had going on. I tried to do my homework, went back and watched some broadcasts from last year, try to see who was running up front, who was good where, so try to make an educated guess based on that.
Alrighty, we'll look at your round of 16.
I got Brock up front. I put Hubka in there as number 2, even though he says he may have let me win the fundraiser race. Still keep you in around a 16, buddy. Got Ruse, McQuaid, Clifford, Joseph, Sizemore, Hanley, Trey, Metler, DJ Daniel, Cogswell, Cash, McDonald. Even though he's not running a couple races at first, I think he'll still build some points and be there when it matters. Woods, and then myself.
Alrighty. We'll look at your round of 12.
I got Brock going on, Roos, McQuaid, Clifford, Joseph, Sizemore, Trey, Metler, Cogswell, Cash, Woods, and myself.
Well, I see the point where you left Hubka out to dry once again, even though I did the exact same thing the last one.
Yeah. I've only done a couple of races with Hubka, but once you get down past 16 is hard enough as it is, and you keep knocking 4 off each time, it gets tougher and tougher.
Yep. Round of 8 now.
Who I have going forward for the round of 8 is going to be Brock, Ruse, McQuay, Trey, Metler, Cogswell, Woods, and the hope for myself.
Putting yourself to the round of 8. Yeah, I think you'll be pretty solid. So it'll be pretty cool to watch you develop this season.
Yeah, trying to pick based off tracks, and then plus trying to look back on some videos. Not having a whole lot of experience racing with these guys. Trying to make the best guess that I can.
Right. All right. We'll look at your round of 4.
I got Brock, Ruse, Metler, and Woods going to Phoenix.
Anything standing out to anybody so far with his bracket?
Metler. I think it'd be pretty cool to see Metler up there, though.
It'd be cool to see Metler. Nothing against him, though. That's a lot of talent. I don't know if he'll make that Final 4.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
No offense to Metler, but it would be pretty cool to see him up there.
Not at all.
Metler definitely has proven, especially in the All-Star race, that if he is given an opportunity to be up front, he's going to take it. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, it is a shock to see him be consistent on a race after race basis, and I think that's what we're all mostly concerned about with Metler.
Very bold.
All about all the surprises.
Right. I feel like there's no disrespect to any of the drivers at all.
No.
It's just you gotta be real sometimes.
Yep. Oh, and it's very hard to make a good championship 4 when you have the talent pool that we have, and we just added onto it with a bunch of rookies and a bunch of guys coming back. So, I mean,
1000%.
everybody's gonna be different. Like I said, Mettler on my team this season. It'd be cool to see him go and have 2 cars in the championship 4. But we'll have to find out whenever we criticize these at the end of the regular season, and then we'll follow it through the playoffs. All right, let's look at your champion.
I've got Brock winning it all in Phoenix.
Be very good to see.
2 picks for Brock.
Yeah.
Last year I kind of, choked it away, but hopefully this year it'll be different if I make it.
Yeah.
No offense to you, Ruse. You were quick. And,
No.
Just screwed it up.
I will stand on the hill that I lucked into that one. I think we talked about this before the podcast last week. I lucked into it. I got lucky with tape blocking. I played tires, and this could be a conversation, a whole podcast in and of itself. You were the odds-on favorite, though, without a doubt.
Yep, like Hubka said, that's 2 picks for Brock, so we'll see if that's consistent. Alrighty, what was the logic behind your playoff predictions before we get into it?
Yeah, the logic was just knowing how some of these guys race. Obviously, Wheeler, we talked last time. I've got a feel of how he races in the Gen 4 league, and just being around season 1 and seeing the talent that we had that season and compared it, raced with McQuaid and Ruse in a series called Backfire, so I knew where those guys stood as far as speed and talent. I haven't raced Sizemore just yet. I'm trying to see who's all in here. Haven't raced Fisher, I don't believe, or TJ just yet. So it'll be interesting to see how, when I get around them, how they race, if they're aggressive or not. But yeah, the 16 was just based on previous seasons being in Ghost from season 1.
Cool. Let's go ahead and look at that round of 16, and you can read them off.
Yeah, Dylan, obviously now hearing that he's missing a couple races, I feel like he would be probably the one to beat. And then Ruse McQuaid, those guys are fast. The Whiteheads, I know they're quick. DJ, I remember him season 1. Kind of a temper. I still remember that. He got parked one race in season 1. I'd have to go back and look. Cogswell raced with him in another series, and he's Mr. Consistent. He'll top 10 you to death, and he may not win races, but he'll top 10, top 5 you to death, and he'll do what it takes to move on to the next round. And Hubka, if I didn't put the owner in there, he'd probably ban me from the server. So I put Hubka in there. I got Zach coming back with a vengeance, and then Ryan, myself. I think I squeeze in. I'm probably going to miss a couple races just because I travel too much for work, actually leaving Sunday to go to Illinois, and I'll be there for 2 weeks. And, being in charge of 8 states at work, it's kind of tough, making Thursdays. And I always make it a priority to make Fridays if we're racing. And Thursdays is going to be somewhat tough for me. Caleb, that's a rookie. Obviously, I have a lot of confidence in Caleb. He's on our team. Then TJ, I got Roberts. I think he's the 11, the 8.
Yeah, TJ's the 11. Yeah,
the 11. I remember him in the Gen 4 as well. He had a lot of speed, I believe. And then I got Wheeler. Papa raced with him in Backfire as well. I know he has a lot of speed. And then Chris Wheeler, another vet from season 1.
2 wheelers. All right, let's look at your round of 12.
Yeah, so we pretty much the top 5 stayed the same. I know DJ's down there at 10th. I think he struggles. Wilkesboro's kind of a crapshoot. New Hampshire, I feel like he probably can get around that place pretty quick. And then Bristol's another crapshoot. So 2 short tracks. I think he dips a little bit in the points. Ruse McQuaid, obviously Ruse defending champ. You got to put him in there. If you don't, you're an idiot. If you don't put him past the round of 16. McQuaid, a lot of speed, a lot of talent. I think he moves on. You two move on as well, the Whiteheads. Cogswell again, Mr. Consistent. I think Zach will pull a miracle somewhere and find a way to advance. And then Sizemore with his experience and talent. Wheeler, same thing. Experience and talent, I think they move on. I think DJ plays it cool the first round, kind of gets his way in, dips a little bit in the points. And then I got Hubka squeezing by, and I got Chris Papa coming through as well.
Heck yeah. I think the surprise for me is Chris Papa because I haven't seen him race in a season or 2, and it'll be really cool to see him back as well as you and Woods. So all these guys are going to be big contenders. It's just the large talent pool that we have now.
Yeah, I agree. And then I actually had, me, Caleb, who else did I leave out? Wheeler, I think we all got, and I think Roberts, we're going to be eliminated round 1. obviously me traveling. I think Caleb, he's not. He has the talent, but I don't think he's there to the level of the guys that advanced to the round of 12. But yeah, that's kind of who I got going in the round of 12.
The round of 8 is up next.
Yeah, obviously Dylan's gonna roll. I feel like he'll win either Atlanta or Chicagoland. He's a decent road course racer, not the best. We got McDonald, Ruse, McQuaid, and then Papa, Cogswell, Daniel, Sizemore, and Whitehead. Those are all 8 talented, really, really good drivers. I think they'll be consistent when it comes to the round of 12. And I got McQuaid probably winning Atlanta. I couldn't tell you who out of those 12 who could win the Roval. That's a crapshoot, especially last episode we were talking about road courses not being our strongest suit, and then another mile and a half. I probably got Ruse winning that one. I know he hasn't won in this league yet, but I'm with Patrick. He's probably due for one. I feel like he's gonna get one eventually. Not at Daytona. I want to see him win on a intermediate or a short track, just so he can prove to people that he can drive other tracks compared to super speedways. But yeah, I see him winning Chicagoland and advancing himself into the round of 8. And then Cogswell, Daniel, Sizemore, Whitehead, yeah, those guys are going to be consistent and go through the round of 8.
All right, so let's go ahead and look at your round of 4.
Yeah, and then who I think is going to win it all this season. I know I'm going to flip the pick again. I think McQuaid wins it all this year.
Oh, you're switching to McQuaid.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. So we'll go ahead and edit that on the spot. McQuaid winning the championship.
I know we have some history. I know he said we brushed it off. Actually, he ended up rooting for my alma mater in March Madness, so he was okay in my book when we lost to Duke in the Sweet 16. But yeah, I think McQuaid redemption tour, me coming back, he gets me one race. Just for hey, you remember me, bub? And then I think he goes on and wins the whole thing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That's 2 picks for McQuaid now, I believe. So 2 for McQuaid, 2 for Brock, and then there was a couple one-sided ones sprinkled in there, like a Ruse, and can't remember who else picked someone else, but
I think someone picked McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald. I think that's what it was. So, alrighty. Well, those are Ricky's predictions. We'll look at Brock's now. Brock, what was the logic behind yours?
Yeah, really just everybody I race with and how they race. I don't mind my dad in the background.
It's fine. We
need to get that send back into his room. But anyways, it's the people that I've raced with and that I've seen race, and then some are like I think Bruce said it was just some throw up, like pop up. So we'll go ahead and look, and yeah, it's just really people I've raced with. So I've got McDonald. Obviously now hearing that he's gonna miss a couple of races, that's a little bummer, but I think he can get it done and still make it. And then McQuaid, obviously he made it the round of 4. Myself, Austin Wheeler, I raced with him in the charity race, and I think a couple other races. So I think he'll get through. Obviously Hubka, he was consistent last year, just got caught up in some things. Trey, Zach Woods, he never gives up. I think everybody remembers that Pocono race where he was multiple laps down and never gave up and came back and finished 5th. So and then DJ, he was quick all season. I think he could have made the playoff if something didn't happen. Metler, obviously, he's been practicing and getting better throughout the off season. Sizemore, he's consistent, just gets caught up and stuff. And I got Thomas Fisher, based on what Ryan is saying of the road courses, and I know we got a couple of those this season. And then the ovals, if he can get it done on the ovals and be consistent, and I think he can make it. And then Joseph, consistent. He was always up there top 10 every week, and unless he wasn't top 10, he got wrecked. So, and then Ricky Gonzalez, consistent. Ruse, he made the Final 4 last year. He was fast. Cash, he was consistent, just got it caught up and stuff. And then Cogswell was really consistent too.
Alrighty, let's look at your round of 12.
Yeah, so I got DJ. I feel like he gets through. Even with those short tracks like North Wilkesboro and Bristol. I think he can get North Wilkesboro might be a little mess, but I think he can get around New Hampshire and Bristol. Obviously myself, New Hampshire and Bristol are also a pretty good track for me. Bruce, I'm pretty sure he can get through. Those tracks shouldn't be too tough for him. Short tracks, like I said earlier, they're not really your thing, but I think if he can slow it down and not be too aggressive, I think he can get through. Ryan, just the consistency through those short tracks, not getting caught up in stuff. Ricky, the same thing, consistency, staying out of the trouble. Woods, I think he's gonna get. This is his comeback season. I think he's gonna get through. Austin Wheeler, same thing, consistency. He might win one of the races. I haven't seen him race at the short track, so I couldn't tell you. Metler, again, he's been improving. Short tracks might be his thing. I don't really remember from last season of how good he was, but I think he could improve really well and get through that round of 16. And I got Cash, same thing. Short tracks, he's been racing them a lot this offseason. I've been in the Discord with him. He's been pounding those short tracks. McQuaid, he got to the championship or no, he didn't. He got out in the round of 8, but I think he could have made it. Just consistent. And then Thomas Fisher, the short tracks. I haven't seen him race him, but I think he could get good at him and get out of there.
Alrighty, round of 8.
Yeah, so I got McQuaid, consistent. Atlanta, obviously he's on the pole at Daytona, and Atlanta's another one of those super speedways. Woods, I'm gonna say that he's good at Chicagoland. I think he can get through that track, probably even win it and get through. Myself, really just the Roval would set me back. Atlanta and Chicagoland are pretty good tracks for me. Ricky, all those tracks from what I've heard is good to him. He sounds like he's pretty confident about the Roval. Wheeler, again, haven't really seen him race, but those tracks aren't too hard, and I think if he can keep out of the wreckage, he can get through. Trey, I think you're good at getting through the Roval. I don't remember how far of a gap you had in the lead last season, winning it. I think it was 12 seconds or more. I want to say that you won it by. Cash again, the Atlanta, he can get it done there. I think he can get through. And then Metler, same thing. Atlanta and Chicagoland. I don't know about the Roval, but I think he can get it done.
Any surprises for anyone so far in this one?
Cash.
Yeah, Cash.
Cash is a big surprise in this list, and nothing against him. It's just knowing he's one of the lower rankings when it comes to short tracks. Speedways, he was rated in last season as one of the bottom half. So yeah, I would like to see him persevere and to get there. But yeah, Cash is definitely the biggest surprise out of this list of people I do know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the exact same page as TJ. I'm wondering how, my pick would be I would put TJ in over pretty much any other person in this list just because of how consistent he is over the course of the season.
Of the people selected, like Cash putting in the work and coming out on top, very good pick for Atlanta. He's got one of the better super speedway skills. Very decent at road courses, but speedways I would like to see him improve. But that's about it out of that 12 going to 8. That's kind of the surprise.
To go against my own team, after hearing about Cash putting in all the time on the short track, I've seen him. I've been in a couple lobbies with him before. I would almost have to agree. Like it's not as surprising to me to see him go that far with as much work as he's put in recently.
Really good.
Y'all are sleeping on Hupka.
Yeah, I think
he's been the round of 12 every season, made it to the round of 8 once.
I guess you'll just have to prove us wrong, because apparently us over here at the Whitehead camp don't think you're getting past the round of 16. But I like how this is just sparking conversation. This is great. This is what I intended with this, and even whenever the regular season ends, we can come back and look at it and have even more conversations about, if somebody got it completely wrong or if somebody was dead on.
It's going to start rivalries before the season even starts.
And that's kind of what Tempers Flarin is for, I guess you could say. So
I missed it, but I kind of want to hear Brock's explanation as to why I'm not in the round of 8.
Ooh. Okay. So obviously the short tracks and stuff, like I said, feel like you can get through. I feel like the Roval and really Atlanta is one of those tracks that are kind of hard. You have to save tires and stay out of the carnage. Not that I don't think you can do it, but it's just I think I put Woods over you.
Fair enough. Atlanta definitely is a crapshoot. Roval is not friendly to me.
Again, not saying you couldn't do it. because you're
for sure.
amazing at saving tires and stuff. Just the carnage, I think, is what's going to kill you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think one of the best things you can look at going from the round of 12 to the round of 8 is with that wild card, road course in there. If you have a bad race at the road course and another bad race at one of the other 2 tracks, I just don't see you moving on to the round of 8. So I could see, if Roos got caught up in something at Atlanta and then didn't have a very good race at the Roval, how he'd basically be in like a very deep situation at Chicago, and it just might be not enough to come out of. I had Roos going in, but it could be a toss-up. Woods maybe has a good race at Atlanta and a good race at Chicago, and that's what puts him in. So be pretty wild. Let's look at your round of 4.
Yeah, so I've got Austin Wheeler. I think it's your first season, right? In Ghost, Austin.
This is my first season here. Yes.
Yeah, so I've got, of course, he's a rookie, but we've raced a couple with him, and at that charity race, he looked really strong. I feel like he could get through and be very consistent. I have McQuaid. He made it last year, again, very consistent. I don't know why I keep saying that he made it last year. He got to the round of 8, but I feel like he can go a step further this year if he doesn't miss a race in the round of 8. Obviously, myself being consistent, just getting through those tracks. And then Woods, I've got Woods going through just because it's his revenge tour for Ghost.
Not just because it's me, but I love that you got a rookie in the Final Four.
It's a very bold pick. It's either going to work out really good for you or really bad when we go back and look at this. So
yeah,
we'll look at your champion.
Yeah, and then I got McQuaid winning it. I feel like he gets it a step further and takes it.
So that makes 3 picks for McQuaid now.
2.
No, I think that's 3 because
that's 3. Yeah, 3.
Hubka, Ricky, and you. Yep.
Yeah.
Pressure's on you, Patrick. Now.
I was gonna say I'm starting to feel it, dude. My shoulders are getting heavy.
Well, I don't know. You might have a couple more coming. I'm not sure. We'll have to look at it. Ryan Sizemore's predictions are up next. Ryan, what was your logic behind all of it?
Like everyone else, just experience racing on track with some of these guys over the years. Some of them more recently. But basically just that, and then some, listening to other people talk about it as well and talk about drivers and what their strengths are. That kind of all played into it as well.
Right.
But to start off, obviously, the Whitehead brothers, Reese and McQuaid, in my opinion, for the top drivers in the series. And then myself, Daniels, he's obviously fast as hell. He's, and he's going to make a strong run. Teammate TJ, Mr. Consistent, like what he did last season still just blows my mind. Comes in after missing a couple of races, and then spends several races dropping to the back constantly because of internet connections. I mean, just getting last place points constantly, right? And then to make the run he made all the way to championship 4, it just blows my mind. I don't think most understand just how insane of a run he made. But on to Hupka, definitely I wouldn't count him out of the playoffs. I wouldn't do that to you, hubby. But I think he's pretty consistent as well. He's got his strong tracks that he performs extremely well at. I think persistency and consistency, he'll get there, no problem. McDonald, again, he may miss some races, but dude's fast. Oh my God, ungodly fast. I'm not going to try to say his last name on this podcast because I'll mess it up. I'm not trying to get canceled. So
Joseph.
Joseph, it is. Consistency again. Raced with him plenty in the past, and just a really clean, consistent guy. Cogswell too. That's kind of a surprising one for some, but I feel like his talent has increased quite a lot more recently. And then Woods, he's on his redemption tour or whatever, and from what I'm hearing, man, he's really running the tires off of it. Metler the same way. The dude's coming up and doing great. Brian Cloyd coming back to the league. He's been able to put more time into it recently and get a lot of practice and testing in. So I really think that he'll shine throughout the season. Thomas, I know a lot of people think just because of the road course stuff, but I truly think he's really going to turn some heads this season. He's super strong on the ovals too. He puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. And then Cash, the same. A lot of time and effort, a lot of practice. I think that's going to get them all there.
Heck yeah, that's pretty solid. Yeah, I'd like to see any rookie make the playoffs. It's always good for us to encourage more people to show up. And like I said, I like the talent pool, so it'd be pretty cool to see him make it. Round of 12.
All right, so the Golden Four again. Then myself followed with TJ. Like I said, I just think the consistency following through. I do think the round of 16 will be more taxing than the next on our team as a whole, I believe. Just some difficult tracks, right? And at these tracks, it's almost like the super speedways. You can do everything right and still come out last. So I just think that the consistency will get us there. And DJ, again, just raw speed. He's got it, and I think that'll carry him. Cogswell, do you think he's going to make it? I think that the momentum that he gets from making the playoffs itself, I think may be enough to carry him over. Thomas, again, I think he's just going to keep running consistent at the ovals and proving what his worth is. He just needs to make it to the round of 12, I think, and I think that the Roval, he can really make up some points if he's any behind. And Cloyd as well, another surprising one. I know these are all my teammates, but I really believe in these guys. They put in the time and the hard work over the offseason, and I think it'll pay off. And then Joseph and Mettler again. I just think it's two guys that have really increased a lot when it comes to talent, and I think that they're going to punch their ticket as well.
Alrighty, round of 8.
Golden Four again with me and TJ following. I honestly, I feel like that's my opinion. That's how it'll go throughout it. And then Joseph with DJ Daniel. I think that Joseph just a little bit more experience. I think we'll carry him a little bit. And then DJ again on his raw speed. The dude, him and McDonald both just raw speed. It's hard to beat them.
Alrighty, I don't think there's any surprises here. We'll go ahead and move on to your championship 4.
I will say screw you, Ryan, for taking me out of the run of 12.
Right. Hey, listen, I've seen your luck be a lot like mine, okay? All right, so I had to break up the Golden Four because I got to have my spot too. But Brock, obviously, I think he's going to have a hell of a season. I mean, he's fast as hell. He's consistent. He races smart, good racecraft, and that's everything you need to win a championship. And he was super close last season, so definitely think he punches his ticket. And me, last season, I made the playoffs and was in the top 4 in points until I had to give it up early. And I hate that. I really think that I could have maybe changed some people's predictions for this had I been able to finish out the playoffs. But I was having a solid run before it all ended. So I don't want anybody to count me out because I'm going for it this year. We're putting it all in the bag. McQuaid, dude, I'm not giving him that much love. I've just been calling him the Golden Four, but I remember just a couple seasons ago, like I didn't think he was that good. I ain't gonna, not sugarcoating anything. I just didn't think he was that good. Like honestly, like we wrecked into each other. I don't know how many. I wouldn't either, but we wrecked into each other quite a few times. Always was respect between the two of us, but just nothing that really like shined to me. But man, last season, dude went on a ripper. And I'll be completely honest, like had we done this last season, he would have been my pick for the champion. Without a doubt, I wouldn't even second guessed it. So I do believe that he punches his ticket to Phoenix. And then Roos, the defending champion, because again, you can't count the defending champion out, right? And I just think that overall, dude, he's good. He's fast. He's consistent. And he races smart. A lot like me, he's been caught up in everyone else's BS over the years. And even through that last season, he persevered and really came out and it showed. That's what a true champion does. So I had him punching his ticket as well.
Yeah, I would say you, Ryan, are surprised, but you proved it last season that you can make the playoffs. I think you had to win at Daytona.
Yeah.
The season finale, and you did it. So
it wasn't. If I finished second, I wouldn't have made it. So
I think that's the same thing that could happen at Dega in the round of 8 to punch your ticket into the 4.
We can cross our fingers, right?
Yeah.
And then for my champion, Brock Whitehead. You never count him out. He spent some time with my team. Got us several race wins. He was good then. This is the crazy thing is he was phenomenal then. He was phenomenal 3 years ago, and he just keeps getting better. And I think with him making the championship 4 and being that close last season, and not getting it, there's going to be enough fire under him to go all the way. I'd love to put myself there, right? I'd love to put my own team there. I'd love to put the defending champion there. But realistically, when I sit down and look at it, I can't think of anyone else that could make the full-on run just straight through it like Brock could. And I think this is the season he gets it done.
Yeah, I think not even being biased for me, I think Phoenix being the championship race is definitely better for him. I know he struggled on the long run at Homestead with Roos being able to save his tires a lot better. So as a team owner, I'm glad that the championship race is at Phoenix because I know if Brock gets there, he's going to put up a really good fight.
Sure,
you guys keep giving me a lot of credit for saving tires at Homestead. The only thing is I was so off cycle because I don't think we've ever talked about it. I destroyed TJ early in that race. Absolutely destroyed him and put us both off cycle.
I remember that.
Sometimes off cycle is on cycle.
Oh yeah, the miscommunication call. I remember.
Yeah, dude, I still feel bad about that. I ran right through you.
Yeah, but the weird thing about that, Roos, is that and this is just me personally speaking, I think based on our strategy, it was going to come down to you and me, and we just had bad luck there at the end.
I think so.
As far as like with the timing of the caution, I think it would have been a 2-car battle, but it is what it is
for sure.
But yeah, it was exciting. Nevertheless, you can ask Ryan. I was a nervous wreck.
He was, and I agree with him there. I really think had those circumstances not happened the way they did, it would have been between Roos and TJ at the end. They were just strong, consistent. Aside from that incident, kept their cars clean. So
yeah,
I definitely think it would have been a battle between them two.
Well, very solid bracket. Next, we'll move on to the rookie Thomas Fisher's bracket. Thomas, what was the? I know you're kind of new as well. What went behind your thought process?
I mean, I definitely like to preface it with, I think I have probably the most unique view on this of anyone here, mainly because, I was brought in last season to sort of coach the team on especially the road course side, and then I ended up crew chiefing on number 8 for the rest of the season. So, I had the perspective of somebody who was watching it kind of like God instead of as a driver. So I think that might explain some of the shakeups that I've put in here, because it's an interesting list.
All right, well, let's go ahead and start looking at it with the round of 16.
I should also say none of these are in order; they're just thrown in there.
Yeah.
So DJ Daniel, absolutely. I mean, he's fast as hell. Myself in there, road courses, and I'm not that bad on ovals. Ryan, TJ, feel like that's fairly self-explanatory. McQuaid as well. Gonzalez, do him in there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I know he used to be fast. Trey, Brock, again, pretty self-explanatory. Hubka, giving you some love. Austin Wheeler, I've heard great things, so we'll see. Christian Roos, you're in there as well. Jonathan Cogswell, last season he was mid-pack, but I think he'll get through, and once he gets some momentum in the round of 16, I think he'll move on. Metler, pretty much same reasons as everybody else. Roberge as well, sort of a wild card, I think, but we'll see. And then Sobanovsky. I mean, you know what? I just figured why not. And of course, our teammate Cloyd. I think he'll be pretty good as well.
Yeah, it's a very solid list. We can look at your round of 12 now.
Yep, again, in no particular order. Same top 4 as same time. Trey, I've got you in there as well. Hubka, Roos, McQuaid. I think you guys are all going to be pretty solid top 12 candidates at least. Cogswell, as I said, I think his momentum from the round 16 might bring him into the round of 12. Brock, Austin, pretty sure you guys are going to make it without too much sweat. And then Matt, I think he's going to have some momentum building through.
Alrighty, I don't see anything jumping out to me. We'll go ahead and look at your round of 8.
I feel like this is where things are going to get switched up a little bit. DJ, I mean, absolutely. Myself, something that I found funny looking at these previous predictions is that everyone, or the people who have talked about me or put me in their list, they keep talking about my abilities on the road course, but then the one road course in this in the playoffs, they think I'm going to get eliminated in that round. I think the Roval is kind of going to carry me through a little bit to get into the round of 8. But we'll have to see. Ryan, TJ, I don't think Ryan. He's bad fast when he wants to be, and when he's not getting caught up in somebody else's wreck. TJ, Mr. Consistent. Brock, he's just bad fast. Christian Roos as well. I think he's going to be kind of an underdog. Nobody's really going to see him coming, but I think he's just going to be there the whole time. McQuaid, Patrick, you're just fucking fast. And Austin, I see you getting in there.
Yeah, I think for me, Thomas, when you brought up the point about a lot of people leaving you out after the round of 12, for me, I think it was the same thing that I was talking about with Roos or Woods. Like if they were only relying on a good finish at Chicago and hoping for a good finish at the other two tracks, I think if you get caught up in some stuff in those two races, it can really mess you up, especially with guys that are good at all three types of racetracks. Like I consider myself to be pretty good at the 1.5 miles, really good at the road courses, especially last season. And then for the super speedways, it's kind of a hit and miss, but that's two tracks that I know that I'll do decent at. And then like for you, I don't know how you perform on the ovals, just with Atlanta before that. If you have a bad race and then a really good race at the Roval, then it kind of puts pressure on you to have a good race at Chicago to try to move on. So it's kind of a toss-up for me in my situation, leaving you out.
Yeah, no, I agree. But sort of, flip the cards right there. I left you out, Trey.
Yep.
Because you know what? Like from what I saw last season, you were always bad fast, but you always seemed to have just shit luck.
Yep.
The whole time. Like, whenever there was an incident happening, you were somewhere near it.
Exactly. I was causing most of them. Most of the time, I was the one causing it if I was near it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine auto club.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But
so, I think that's a pretty even round of 8.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like I said, going from a round of 12 to a round of 8 is always going to be tough because the round of 12 is like a really solid group of 12 guys. Obviously, you have your top 3 or 4 people that are going to move on, but the rest of it is like basically coin flips for who's going to fill out the rest of the field for the round of 8. So, championship 4.
Yeah. So championship 4, DJ. I think he's going to get in there. I think with DJ and with Brock, I think it's a very similar thing. That over the course of 3 races, you two are definitely most likely two of the best. And so that's definitely what's going to get you guys through. TJ, just Mr. Consistent. And Christian, same thing. And I think he's just going to end up there. I don't know necessarily he'll know how he ended up there, but I think he will.
That's a very fair look at it.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll go ahead and look at your...
Almost the same exact championship 4 as last season.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Well, man.
Okay, so I have a reasoning here.
Okay.
So let's bring it back to what I said 2 minutes ago about DJ and Brock being 2 of the best drivers over the course of multiple races. However, what I saw last season is whenever there was a big race that counted, the result never seemed to be there. Like, the last round before, I'm going off of memory here, but the last round, DJ doesn't count obviously because he wasn't in the playoffs, but when he was in a must-win situation at Daytona, we all saw how that ended. Bach, of course it wasn't really difficult for you to get through to the playoffs, but, you saw that when you're pushing really, really hard coming through from the back or whatever, that's typically when things tended to go wrong. And so that's why, I'm not counting you two to be in to be the champions. TJ, he's Mr. Consistent, but he's not Mr. I'm going to put it on pole and lead every lap. So I think that might be why. And then Christian, you know what? Christian, you're just the one left over, frankly.
Fair enough.
Very fair. Back-to-back championships would be pretty cool for Bruce. I know that.
I think I might just hang up the wheel at that point.
You probably have to. He'd be forced into the retirement at that point. So that can be like a team manager or like whatever Jeff Gordon's role is right now for Hendrick. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can come be my crew chief.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Alrighty, that's very solid. I do like you do have some mix-ups in there, but it is within the realm of reality. It's not anything out of the ordinary. So, TJ, we will move on to yours.
Oh God,
Yeah, here we go. So,
Mr. Statistician.
I am Mr. Stats. I don't know why everyone calls me Mr. Consistency. I should be called Mr. Stats. I don't have any of the rookies simply because I don't have enough information on you guys. But as far as looking at who's going to make the final 16, I looked at drivers who made at least half the starts, who were consistent who were there on a consistent basis, and this is just my list of guys who I think are going to make it coming when it comes down to on points. I think it's going to be Ellis, Brock, McQuaid, Cogswell, Roos, Hupka, Trey, Daniels. I think Lucas will find a way to make it in. I think he will even be right there around the top 10 of the guys who will make it in on points. McDonald, McLaughlin, Roberge, I think will be there. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Roberge, if I'm going to be completely honest. He had a much better overall season. He was very good about just surviving and getting there to the end. He was much better than myself. Thomas Stewart, I think, was one. Cash, I think he was a lot better than us, and I don't think enough people give him credit for that. Joseph, Ryan, myself, and I'm going to put Cody Tarrant in there.
I'll just go ahead and say a surprise to me is Lucas. Is he racing Ghost?
He's part time. I'm trying to convince him to run full time.
Well, if Lucas will go full time, like the stats show, he'll be a top 10 contender.
Yeah.
He'll be a top 10 contender every week.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like there's no doubt in my mind that if Lucas does decide to go full time, he's gonna be somebody to watch out for. I have no doubts in that.
It wasn't like a surprise that he was in there. It's just a surprise because I didn't know if he was running it or not.
No, absolutely. And then anybody who hung out with me over the playoff season saw me like try to predict what was going to happen. And with that, guys, we're looking at 3 short tracks here. And I had to take that into consideration. And without a doubt, McDonald is the best, right there with Brock, with the best short track drivers that we have in the field. Cogswell, McQuaid, Roos, Hupka, Ellis, very consistent drivers. Just overall, again and again, McLaughlin. I think when you get to McLaughlin and down, I think that's where things get a little. You could go one way, you could go the other. But just based on statistics, McLaughlin, Tarrant, myself, Daniels, and Trey, the guys I have out, for those of you who aren't able to keep track, I have Lucas out, Roberge out. Ryan had a lot of bad luck at short tracks, and then I had Joseph out. Just incredibly bad luck at short tracks. Traditionally, based on what I recall, it was usually within that last 25% of the race. It's usually what did y'all in, without a doubt. And then again, looked at the tracks. Atlanta is going to be a super speedway style race. Looked at everyone's statistics at that. Road courses, we only had 2, but it gives you a rough idea. And then Chicagoland, I looked at all the speedways for that and tried to come up with an idea. And I think Trey, Patrick, Brock, DJ, I think they're going to get in. It's going to be nice and smooth. McDonald is going to struggle in this round of 12. I just think he's going to have a hard time. It's just not his style. I don't know why. He's going to do really good in the short tracks, but when he gets to here, it's not going to be his style. But again, I think myself down. I'd even throw Cogswell down. You could kind of flip a coin and see who's going to be there. But I have Ellis, McLaughlin, Tarrant, and McDonald out on this one. And then we go to Homestead, Martinsville, Dega. Homestead, again, you look at the speedways. I think the best overall driver statistically was actually Trey, if I remember correctly, but he struggled with others. So my final 4 is Brock, Cogswell, McQuaid, Roos, once again. And then I kind of have to agree with Fisher. I look at guys who did good under pressure, guys who were very good at being able to withstand the pressure. And I just think it's Jonathan. I don't know where you got that. That's not what I have.
It's that's what was in the what I read.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, well then y'all are gonna love this. I have Cogswell for the
Illusion.
winner.
Well,
Illusion.
I have Cogswell.
pencil him in. Pencil him in.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do at points like this. You just got to pencil guys in. You know, Ricky had a change of heart for champion, so. Yep.
Right.
Well, here, do you want me to redo that for the power of
No, that's fine. I mean, Ricky had to pencil a guy in for champion, so we're gonna do the same for you. So I think it's cool that some shit like that happens and people are like, oh, it's this guy, oh, and you're like, oh no, actually it's this guy. So
No, all they're gonna hear is I don't know where he got that from.
yeah, I'm gonna emphasize that one for sure. But that's very solid. that Final Four, like even using stats, the Final Four at the end is very, very possible for sure. Anybody have any thoughts on his bracket?
Again, the same thing with you, Trey. Just you'd be in that Final Four. Just I think Dega and Martinsville is what kills you.
I'm just happy someone's got me in the round of 8.
Hubka's just here so he doesn't get fined. So.
I mean, the biggest thing is that rookies. I don't know nothing about the rookies. This is basically like what quote unquote should have happened last year, more or less.
It could carry over. You never know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
All right, we saved the best for last. McQuaid, your bracket is up now. We'll go ahead and look at your round of 16.
All right. I got I mean, basically, like everyone's been saying, the main word there is consistency. Most of these guys are consistent, and they were all throughout, last season. Except for one of them, well, a couple of them. When I get to them, I'll explain. I got both Whiteheads, obviously. Ruse, Ricky, Sizemore, and Wheeler, obviously rookie. We haven't really raced much with him, but I mean, if you've raced in the the fundraiser race, he was phenomenal. So you can't leave him out. Hupka, TJ Roberts. I had Dustin Hall, but then I learned that he was part-time. So I'm gonna add Matt Metler in there. And then Dylan McDonald, obviously. DJ, Zach Woods, and Wheeler. I raced in the past, or we've raced with them in the past. And I mean, yeah, like everyone's been saying, Zach has just stepped it up a ton. And Chris, I know he was a top 10 contender, or at least top 5 for a good portion. I believe the last time I raced with him, I think it was the season 1 of Ghost, maybe. But then I got Joseph. I'm not going to even attempt his name. I butcher it every time. Sorry, buddy. Cogswell, and then myself. I mean, Cogswell, he's in the Final Four. You can't just leave him out. And then the round of 12, I mean, anyone got any objections or surprises?
Objection. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I haven't raced with Chris Wheeler since the whole me, Rock, DJ, Chris Wheeler incident where we were all removed from the league a couple years ago. I know
what track was that at?
It was at Las Vegas. So
yeah.
We don't talk about that.
I know Wheeler came back and raced for a little while, and then Brock and I didn't get to come back until the next season, and then I don't think Wheeler was racing at that time when we came back. So it'll be cool to see him once again, as well as everybody else that we haven't raced with since. So,
gotcha. Well, I didn't know about the incident. I mean, I knew somewhat of an incident, but I didn't know the whole shebang. I didn't know he was involved.
Oh, it's on video. It's on YouTube. We can pull it up after this and show you.
Oh, it's pretty bad. It's all good. I don't want to bring up bad memories or anything. Charlotte of season 1.
Yeah. So what was your round of 12? I forgot.
So I got Trey, Brock, obviously. I got myself. It's going to be tough for me, to be honest, to even get out of the round of 16 because Wilkesboro, New Hampshire and Bristol are not my strong suits. But if I could get in the round of 12, I think I could have some fun with it. Let's see. I got Ricky, Austin Wheeler, Dylan, Daniel, Cogswell, Ruse, Joseph, Sizemore, and Woods. My surprise that I surprised myself on picking was Woods. It was between him or Metler, and I'm sorry, Matt. Woods is just I don't know. His social media is getting me, dude. Like he's just top 3, top 10, top this. So yeah, I'm on the Woods train. But then everyone else, obviously, I super consistent, and just Wilkesboro, New Hampshire, and Bristol are obviously tire saving type of tracks and short tracks at that for you guys, the Whiteheads and McDonald obviously being and DJ being the best short track racers out there. But then on to the round of 8, I got Trey, Brock, McDonald, DJ, Ruse, Joseph, Austin Wheeler, and Ricky. Like I said, I knew I was going to have some fun with the round of 12 with Atlanta and Roval and Chicagoland. But I can definitely see so when it comes to me, I put so much pressure on myself. It comes down to pit stops, and I always mess up the strategy one way or another. And I feel like at Chicagoland, when I'm going to need it the most, I'm going to mess it up. So just predicting that now. Yeah, where am I at? Going to the Final Four?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can go ahead and look at your Final Four.
Okay. I mean, I feel like to get to the Final Four, you're going to have a phenomenal Homestead and Martinsville, and I feel like these guys will definitely do that. So it's going to be Trey, Brock, Dylan, and Ruse. And I feel Ruse is going to win Dega. He's super good at super speedways, and he's bound to get one eventually. And then I got McDonald as my champion at Phoenix. Back to the whole short track. TJ touched on it. Stat-wise or statistic-wise, Dylan's the best we got. I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best. Like, he's not unbeatable because obviously Trey, Brock, and Ruse, you guys can beat him any day of the week. But I don't know. I feel like that day he's got you guys, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's that.
I feel like Dylan is sort of a surprise for me, only because if he is able to rack up the points and make the playoffs, he could 100% have this run. Like, he's got the speed to do that. So I just think it's cool that you're able to have that much faith in him to be able to get up to the playoffs and make it all the way through it this way.
Well, I feel so when it comes to you and you, Brock, and Dylan, and even you can throw DJ in there too. You guys are the Kyle Larsons. You guys, it's checkers or wreckers. There's no in between there. I mean, maybe Brock's a little bit more consistent, but it's just okay. Maybe Brock's more of a Ryan Blaney, if you would, or a Chris Bell, or you could go with Byron too. I guess I don't know. But yeah, you guys are definitely checkers or wreckers, and I feel like maybe that race just so happens that Dylan survives it. But yeah,
very interesting. Anybody have any opinions on his bracket? I think everybody's in unison. Very solid. I like all of these picks. I think McQuaid and Brock actually ended up tied for the most picks for the championship. So it'll be pretty cool to see how this plays out. Like I said, we're going to have a special, we're going to have 2 episodes at the end of the regular season as well. Just an episode just to specifically go over each person's bracket and see how well or how bad that they did. And it'll be a lot of fun. But appreciate you guys for coming out and doing this. I know this was a lot of fun. I might even do this again in the middle of the season if we have a few brand new guys. I don't know. We'll have to see.
So with the rookies that are coming in, what can you tell the rookies what to expect on how we raise and how the league is and how it's ran?
I'm 100% checkers or wreckers. I think McQuaid hammered that on the money. So
to push that, yeah, just be ready for aggressiveness. I mean, realistically, when you think about this from the big picture, this is a super aggressive league.
Yep.
As a whole, I mean, we've got a list of drivers that can really get after it when they need to, and I think for any rookie coming in, even Thomas being our rookie, the same goes to him as well. Is really just like, I don't want to say layover or take it easy per se, but if you piss some of these guys off on race one, we've got 30 something more races that they're going to be pissing you off in. So
100%.
Really, you really just got to mind your P's and Q's a bit and pick your battles.
Yeah, and you will learn very quickly who are the Kyle Larsons, who are the Blaneys, who are the Chastains, who is the Ryan Newman of the group. Thank you. You will learn very quickly how everybody's racing style is and how they react to certain things, such as a bump, a door tag, a side-by-side racing. You'll learn very quickly how everybody reacts to that.
But live
on
to see
that
another lap.
same note, yeah, definitely what Trey just said. Live to see another lap. I said it during the podcast last week. We'll race hard. We will, bump. We'll bang. We'll do all this. At the end of the day, we're gonna see another race next week. So we all just kind of try to put that behind us. I will be the first to say I had some choice words for TJ last season. I had some choice words for Trey. And you know what?
Same.
For Cash.
Same.
Yeah, well, Cash too. Yeah, for sure. And now me and Cash are best buds. Like it's a new season. Race clean, race respectfully, race how you want to be raced, and really everything else will fall into place there. We're all here to have a good time. We're really not that bad of a group. Yes, we're aggressive. Yes, we'll call you out on your bullshit, and then we'll move on to next week.
Yeah, there's a lot of very aggressive drivers, but a lot of us that are very aggressive, we keep it clean at the same time unless we need to use the bumper, and you'll figure that out real quick.
I think the biggest thing really is like all of us veterans that have raced with each other for however many seasons now, we've come to really like know these guys' styles, right? Know how they're going to react when we're in certain spots on the track, and vice versa. They know, if I'm below Patrick, like, God, how many times have we been in that scenario, Patrick, where it's me and you, I'm on the bottom, you're on the top, and lap after lap after lap, we battle, right? And we do it fine, right? And it's just from learning with each other. So I think really the biggest thing is like watch the veterans, watch the guys as they race around each other, and pick up those notes and see how they react to each other, and then use that to build your own, right? That way you know what to do when you get around those guys as well.
Exactly. That's right. And aggressive is not always bad. If we have an aggressive but clean race, it'll be one of the most fun races you'll ever been in.
Oh no! So, if I was more aggressive, I'd probably finish a lot better. I really believe that. I think that you'll see that the super aggressive guys are at the front.
Yep. I have been told seasons and seasons in a row by Chris Tate himself, I'm not aggressive enough. I need to step it up. And you know what? That laid backness got me a championship out of the blue. But I'm going to be stepping it up this year, and I know a lot of other guys will too.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, don't be scared to be aggressive. Drive the car and just keep it clean.
I was gonna say be aggressive, but be respectful.
Yeah, you'll get cussed out that race, and then you'll be door to door the next race.
So yeah, you'll be like Bruce and Cash. You'll have a little incident one race, and then the next week's like Bruce said, they're best friends, and they talk every night till about 3 o'clock in the morning. So
that was Daytona 2 races. That was Watkins Glen and Bristol that we got into it, and then after that, it took about a month, and we calmed down. We're all right.
Also, Trey, real quick, I want to say the entry to this podcast is awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I tried to come up with something. I just threw some of the clips I had together, and then Bryce saying it was Tempers Flarin when Colt was slamming Cash into the wall at Richmond. It's like the best segue into this. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. So I appreciate all you guys coming on and doing this bracket challenge. I know it took a little over an hour. It looks like it was an hour and 20-ish minutes. it'll be probably 10 or 15 minutes shorter than that after editing, but it'll be out Friday night, and then we'll have another episode coming out next Tuesday following the Clash, so we'll have some things to talk about after that. Be a lot of fun if there's been some rivalries formed during that race, because I don't see it not happening. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of between who. So can't wait for that to get underway. But like I said, I'll see you guys next Tuesday after the Clash, and you can watch the Clash tomorrow night, which actually, when this comes out, it would have already happened. So yeah. Hopefully you had a good time watching the Clash, I should say, last night. And we'll be there to talk about the new rivalries that might have been formed next Tuesday. So have a good one, guys.